Kristi Noem back on Capitol Hill today, testifying before a committee on the potential threat that China may pose to American agriculture.
Digital producer Donovan Miner standing by live at the First Alert Now desk with the latest for us at 5. Donovan.
Brian and Andrea, today's hearing in Washington was titled "The Danger China Possesses to American Agriculture." A 2021 report by the Department of Agriculture shows China owns roughly 384,000 acres of U.S. farmland. Between 2019 and 2020, Chinese ownership of U.S. land jumped 30%. Today, Governor Noem telling the House Agricultural Committee it's a trend that needs to stop now. According to the USDA, U.S. agricultural exports to China topped $35 billion in 2022. But as Noem heeded, we have to think big picture.
The threat is very real to us every single day, what China is doing, and they have a 1,000-year plan to become the world dominating power in the world, and the only thing standing in their way is America.
Now, following today's hearing, Congressman Dusty Johnson, who sits on the Ag Committee, released a statement saying in part, quote, "China is our biggest adversary, and Governor Noem has been active in stopping the threat of the Chinese Communist Party in South Dakota." Live at the First Alert Now desk, Donovan Miner, Dakota News Now.
All right, Donovan, thank you so much for that. Time for our